Hello everyone, this is KenBroTech from KenBroTech. Now it's been a while I published a video. The reason being I've been a little bit busy with academic work and project work for that matter. So we are back again, obviously. So in this tutorial, we are going to see how we build some kind of a newsletter session for a website. Okay, so normally with websites, you see subscribe to our newsletter, and whenever you type in an email address over here and press submit or subscribe, we get a notification anytime there's an email or something of that sort. So this is a simple application that we are going to build. So in this session, I have the backend open up over here, and in my backend, I have letters over here, and this is empty, and I have mail messages, which is also empty over here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and type in my email address. So as you can see, kbroni123@gmail.com. Now when I click on subscribe, you can see that subscription successful. So this has been saved in the database. So when I come back here to come and refresh, you can see that we have this email address showing up over here. And let me do for another one. Let me use my school email address. So that's kbroni@st.ug.edu.gh. So this is the University of Ghana email address that I also use. And first of all, let me refresh this and let me type it once again. kbroni@st.ug.edu.gh. Okay, so when I press on subscribe, and this has also been saved in the database. So when we come back here and we come and refresh, we can see that we have this also showing up over here. So we have let's say 2 people who have subscribed to our newsletter. Then at the other side of the application, we have this area over here, which is a mail. So this is perhaps going to be like the admin side of it. Okay, so as far as the admin side of it goes, let's say there's a new course or there's a new product I want to introduce to my clients or those who are subscribed. This is where I put in the information, and once I click on send message, it is, or they are going to receive those messages in their mails. And remember, this is the email address they provided. So now I also have here opened the Gmail accounts where I have the mails showing up over here. So this is the one with as you can see, kbroni123@gmail.com, and this is the other one. And this is the school address, which is kbroni@st.edu.gh. This is the University of Ghana mail address that I have over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and I'm going to give out a title for the email and the message itself. So I'm saying this is newsletter for beginners. All right, so this is the title of the message, the email message I'm going to send. Then as far as the message, the body of the message goes, I'll say this is KenBroTech newsletter for all subscribers. All right, so yeah, so this is the message I want to send to those who have subscribed to this channel or to the newsletter. So when I click on send message, we see that mail has been sent to mail list. Okay, so we can see that we have mail messages over here, and when we come here, we can see that this is what we just sent. Okay, so this is KenBroTech newsletter for all subscribers. And when we come into the mail, okay, as you can see, this is the mail with the account kbroni123@gmail.com, and this is the email that we are receiving over here. Now, as far as the sender of the email goes, I'm using KBT newsletter 1. Okay, this is the email address I registered with. Okay, and I'm going to show you how that registration goes. So when I click on this, we can see that this is the heading, this is a newsletter for beginners, and this is the body of the message, as you saw me indicate over here. Now when I also come here, you can see that I have no mail over here, but I think if I should refresh, we are going to see that mail showing up over here. So this is also the mail we sent. So more or less this is going to flood the messages or the message to all the people who have subscribed to our newsletter. And this can be a very cool feature you can have in your website or in your application. Now, if you're excited, just as I am, as far as building this application is concerned, as well as other applications, then kindly subscribe to my channel, click on the notification button so that anytime I release a video, you'll be duly notified. And don't forget to ask any questions. So now let's begin. All right, so if you're new on this channel, I'll highly recommend some of the courses I've done over here. There's a comprehensive one I did on Django, and I took it from ground zero to intermediary concept and perhaps some advanced concept. And I think that'll help you get along with most of the things I'll be doing over here. All right, so what do we have over here? We have our application set up over here. Basically, what I have over here is, let me close things up over here and show you. So I have a Django project newsletter, and inside newsletter, I have in here settings.py. When I go into settings.py, I already have the application registered over here in installed apps. So I have Letter, which is Letter happens to be the app for this project. We have letter.apps.letterconfig, and down over here I also have my templates coming in from the templates folder I have over here. So this the two basic configuration that has been done over here. Then inside my letter application or the letter app, inside views.py, I have two function-based views over here. So I have index, and index is returning the index.html inside my templates folder, and I'm going to show you very soon. Then I also have the mail letter function over here, and mail letter is also returning a mail letter.html inside of this. So if I'm to open the template, we can see that we have index.html, and that's what the index function is returning. And I have mail underscore letter.html, and that's what you also see over here. Now I have partials, and inside partials I have base.html. So base.html is pretty much the base of this whole web interface. And we have Bootstrap, we grab the CDN, and we have everything over here. Then we also have a navbar being shown up over here, and inside base.html we are including this navbar over here, and we have a block content. This block content is primarily going to house everything we have in index.html and mail.html. So this is the basic configuration I usually do with my applications or my Django project. And when you come into this particular series of videos, we are definitely going to see a whole lot more as far as these things are concerned. So that's just by way of a brief introduction. So now we have this setup over here. So when I click on this, we can see that we have subscribed to newsletters over here. When I click on this sends us to the mail underscore letter route over here, and this is where we are going to type in the message. All right, so let's come back here and complete this. So let me close everything up over here once again. So far we haven't done anything with models, so we are going to start with our models. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to the models are going to be classes. So we have a class over here. Let's call this class subscribers. So for subscribers, okay, we are going to inherit from models dot model, and inside here we define the attributes we want for our database. So what I'm going to, the first thing I'm going to ask for is the email, because that's what we want to save in the database for the subscriber. So the email is going to be models.email field, and the email field we are going to leave it blank over here. First of all, let's set now is equal to true so that we don't run into any problems over here. Then I'm going to have dates. Okay, the dates the person subscribed, and that one too is going to be models.date time field, and what I'm going to say is auto now add is also going to be equal to true. Then I will put out a string representation of this subscriber model we have over here. So I'm going to do def a double underscore str a double underscore, and I'll pass in self. Then what I want to return is I just want to return self.email. All right, so I'll save this and we are almost done. But before we do the migration, let's also create the model for where we'll be typing the message. So remember, for the message, we need the title of the message and the body of the message, the text itself. So over here, let's create another class and let's call this mail message. Okay, so the mail message is also going to be models.model. Then inside this, we need a title. So the title is going to be models dot child field, and for child field we need to pass in a max length, and for max length we need 100 characters over here. Then we want to have the message itself. So the message is going to be models dot, and this time around we are going to use text field. And once again, let me put out the null is equal to true over here. Now this is not mandatory, but for the purpose of what you want to do, you may be deleting, adding data here and there, and that's why we need null is equal to true, so that you don't run into problems. Else we need to manually be typing data in there. Then for the message too, I'm just going to say null is equal to true. But in production environment, you don't have to be bringing null is equal to true over here. Then also what I need over here is a string representation of whatever I have over here. So we are going to put out the same thing we did, and I'm going to return self.title. All right, so we are good to go. Now let's come into admin.py over here and register the model. So I'm going to say from the current models, I want to import, and I want to import the mail message, and the other one is let me check, it's subscribers. Okay, I want to import mail message and subscribers. So I'll save this and I'll save this as well. Okay, so after doing this, we simply have to do is admin.site.register, and what I want to register is I want to register the mail message. Then I would also want to register the subscribers as well. Okay, so when I save this, all that we need to do here is to put out or migrate our model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say python manage.py, and the first thing I need to do is make migrations to inform my application that's yeah, so I made a mistake over here. It's supposed to be make migrations. All right, let's run make migrations to inform our application or a Django project that we want to do some migrations. And the next one we will need to do is to migrate the models itself. So everything is going to go through. Okay, so we can now have access to the admin panel, but once again we need to create in a super user so that we can have entry into it. So I'll say python manage.py, and I'll say create super user. So the name, I'm going to say admin. The email address is going to be admin@gmail.com, and the password, a very short password, 1234, and it is saying that it is too short and things of that sort, but then I'm going to accept it for the purpose of this work. So a super user has been created successfully. Now what I can do over here is I can come in here and I would want to go into /admin. So I type in my admin username and my password, and once I log in, I have access over here. So I have mail messages and I have subscribers over here. So what we have over here is we can type in the email address, okay, manually over here. Then we can also bring in the title and the message, okay. But we don't want to be typing things over here. We want to see it from the front end. So from the front end, what then we need to do is we need to come back here into our newsletter. Let me close this once again. And inside here, I'm going to create in a file. I'm going to call this forms.py. So from forms.py, I'm going to say from Django, I want to import forms. Then I want to create some forms for the model. So I also need to bring in the models over here. So I'll say from the current models, I want to import subscribers, then the mail message. All right, so this is also going to be a class. So I'm going to say subscriber or subscribers form, and this is also going to inherit from forms, and I think, yeah, forms.model form. All right, then all that we need to do is to put in a class meta. So the class meta is going to define whatever things that we need. So the first question we need to ask ourselves is, what model do you want to create this model form for? And the name for the model attribute, we are going to say subscribers. So subscribers, and the next one is going to be fields. The fields that you want over here. Now remember, this is our model. Let me open this over here. And as far as our model goes, it is only email that we want, okay? The dates will be automatically put in there for us. All right. So as far as this one goes, we just want to have something for, and if we should use a list, we can say email, and we need to bring a trailing comma over here. So now this form has been created. We need to bring it into our views. So inside our views, I'm just going to say from the current forms, I want to import subscriber or subscribers form. Then this is going to appear in the index page, okay, the index page. So I need to come into the index view and put in the form over here. So I can just put in a variable form, and I'll say subscribers form, just like this. And once I pass in form over here inside the context dictionary, say form, and having form over here, and this is a keeper value, okay, this is being passed over here, so we can have access to this over here. But when I refresh, you're not going to see this yet. We need to go into our templates, okay, into our index.html, and have access to the variable. So for the purpose of this work, we need to first of all put out a form. We are going to modify things over here very soon, but we are going to put out a template tag. And if I should just do form as we see it over here and come and refresh, we now have this email showing up over here. What I'd also want to do is let me put out the method, and the method is going to be posts. Now once you are using post, we need to pass in a CSRF token. So CSRF underscore token, so that data will be sent in a secured manner. Then what I also need over here is I also need an input of type submit, okay, and the value is going to be subscribe, like this, okay. Then I want to apply some bootstrap classes over here, so I'm going to say btn and dash, I'll use info, and I'll say btn dash block, so that I have it stretched along the entire width, okay. So if I should come back here and refresh, we have this showing up over here neatly. Now, in order to start this, we are going to use Django Crispy Forms, and I always do this because that's perhaps the easiest way to go about it. So you type in, or you Google search for Crispy Forms, and you look out for this link over here. I'll leave the link in the description below, and click on the installation. It is a process. I already have it installed, but if this is your first time, you are going to run pip install Django Crispy Forms and follow the steps that follow. But if you already have it installed, you are just going to grab this. So I'll do a Control-C, and I'll come into my project folder inside settings.py. I'll just paste this in installed apps. So I'll do this. All right. Then the next thing I need to do is to come down here and also copy this, the crispy template pack. I also need to put this anywhere over here, but I usually prefer to have it down here. And we are going to change this to Bootstrap 4 because that's what we are using. Then finally, we'll come here and we'll grab this template tag over here. So I'll do a Control-C. Then we'll come into the index.html. That's where we want to see the styling over here. And just before the block content, I'll just put this over here. Okay. Then I'll pass in a filter. So the filter is going to be the crispy filter. So once I do this, we are going to see the form being styled over here. So when I refresh, I'm going to see that the form has been styled neatly over here. All right, so with this being done, we have a form styled over here. Now what we need to do is to add in some logic into our views.py in order to make this work properly. Now remember, inside here, we are saying that our method is equal to post, okay, because we want to send data in a more secured fashion. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to put out some logic over here. I'm going to say if request.method is equal to post, then I'll need to indent this, okay. If request.method is equal to post, then the form is equal to whatever thing we have over here. Then what I need to pass in here is the request.post. We are grabbing whatever thing we are typing in there and putting it into the form. Else, so we come back, else I just want to render form is equal to the subscribers form, empty like this, okay. This is not going to change anything we have over here. Good. So the next thing we are going to do is I'm going to say if form.is_valid. Okay, there's a method. Then we are going to say form.save. So if the form is valid, if we've typed in a proper email, then we are going to save it into the model. Then the next thing I would want to do is I just inside Django.shortcuts, I want to import redirect, okay. Then I'll return a redirect into the home page, okay. So for the home page, we can just do a / just like this. So I think this is just going to work perfectly for us. So when I refresh, yes, and let me open this up over here. So when I come to subscribers, now we don't have anything over here. So if I'm to type in, let's say kbrony123@gmail.com and click on subscribe, we don't see anything over here, but I can tell you that it has been added into our database. So when I refresh, we have this added over here, kbrony123@gmail.com. Now it is prudent we put in some kind of a flash message like I showed you, that okay, something has been added, so that the user knows that yes, the subscription has gone through. So in order to do that, we are going to also import something over here. So I'm going to say from Django.contrib import messages, okay. So we are going to use these messages over here. So immediately after saving, we are going to call the messages over here. So you are going to say messages.success, okay, messages.success. And what we need to do over here is, as far as the parameter goes, we need to pass in the request and the message. So the message is going to be subscription successful. Okay, just this message over here. Now we need to come into our index.html and come and pass this message in a flash message or in a flash message over here. So what we are going to do is I'm going to come back here and then inside just about here. Okay, no, just about here on top of the card, I'm going to put in a template tag over here, and I'm going to say for message in messages, then I'll end it's over here. So I'll do end n4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass in the class over here, and the bootstrap class is going to be alerts, and I'll just need alerts success. Okay, like this. So I have alert dash success, and all that I need to pass in here is the message that I'm passing in over there. So when I save this and come back here and come and refresh, we don't have any problem over here. So if I'm to type in the email address again and press subscribe, and see that we have this flash subscription successful over here. When I refresh, it goes away, and that's basically what we want. All right, so we have this set up over here, and if we should come here to come and refresh, we are going to see this over here. Now we have 3 showing up over here because I did one whilst I was testing things up over here. So we have it showing up over here. We can just get rid of these and we can delete them. Okay, so as you can see, you don't have anything showing up over here, and if you have to type it once again and click on subscribe, we see subscription successful. When I refresh, the flash message goes away, and when I come back here to refresh, we have this showing up over here. All right, so I think we are making some progress. So the first part is done. Now the second part is where it gets interesting, as far as sending the messages to the mails that has the subscription gone through. Now in order to do this, we need to run some imports over here. So let me just close this up over here, and yeah, so over here too, we would also want to have the form. Okay, and this is what I mean. So now let's go back to the form, and let me put out a class over here, and I'll say mail message form, and this is also going to inherit from forms dot model form. And there are 2 things I need over here. The class meta, obviously the class meta is coming in over here, and the model is going to be the mail message. Okay, and as far as this fields goes, I need everything. So I'm just going to do the quotation mark underscore underscore or underscore underscore. So when I save this, this is what I mean. This is a models.py, and for the mail message, the fields that I need everything over here. So I need a title and a message, or the message as well. So that's what I have done over here, as simple as that. So when I come into views.py, I need to import that mail message form over here. So inside this, I can do mail message form, and this has been imported. So inside this view, and that's where I want to render it, I can just do a form is equal to, and if I do mail message form and pass this into the context dictionary like you see me do over here, you can see that now we have this. We can go into a template, and I can simply pass in the form over here as some kind of data, and when I come back to come and refresh, we have this showing up over here. But clearly you can see that this is not styled up. We need to style some few things over here. So in order to do that, we definitely have to come back here and just grab this. Okay, we just grab this, Control C, the load crispy form tag, and we just put it on top over here, and we can literally do this and pass in the crispy filter. So this is definitely going to style things up over here. Okay, so we can see that everything is styled up over here. Now we need the button, but in order to do things properly, let me cut this. We are going to get back to this, and let me put out the form tag over here, and let me paste this over here. And even before we do so, let's put out our method over here, and our method is also going to be post. And for security reasons, we need to pass in the CSRF underscore token. All right, then finally I'll pass in, or I'll bring in an input of type submit, and this is going to be send message. Okay, and I'm going to have the bootstrap class of btn, and let me still do info over here, and I'll do btn block. So I'll save this, and I think this is just about it as far as the setup is concerned. Okay, so I have this neatly styled over here, and yeah, so our form is showing up over here, but then our logic is not complete. Okay, we need to repeat more or less what we did over here too. So I'm just going to put out if request dot method is equal to post. Then I want to indent this over here. Else I just want to render the form. Form will be equal to the mail message form, like this. But remember over here we need to pass in the request dot post over here. So we are going to say if form dot is underscore valid, then I'm going to say form dot save. All right, then we also want to pass in this flash message we saw over here. So for the flash message, after saving, I'm going to say message or messages that success. Okay, then you pass in the request and the message itself. So the message is I'm going to say message has been sent to the mail list. All right, so I'll save this, and I also want to return redirect. So for the return redirect this time around, I would want to also remain on that same page. Okay, remain on that page we have over here, but this is not going to take in this forward slash, because this forward slash is the root URL. So what I need to do over here, I mean, it's very simple, but I think, yeah, so we just need to copy this. Okay, mail letter. So I'll do Control-C over here, and all that I need to do is to come into my views and put this over here. All right, so this is what we have. All right, so I think this is going to work. So the title, let me give out a title like this is new. Okay, so this is news letter for beginners. Then I'll say KenBroTech. Okay, KenBroTech message. So when I click on this, okay, it has gone, because if we come back to mail messages over here, we see this over here. Now the reason why we are not seeing the flash message is because we need to go in here and pass in like what we did for the mail message over here, or the index page. So all that we need to do is we can simply just grab this, okay, Control-C, and put it just over here. So just over here, and everything is going to show up now. So if I should come back here and come and refresh and type in another message, so this is meeting, and I'll say there will be a meeting at 12 noon. Okay, so when I click on submit. You see that what message has been sent to the mail list. Okay, so this looks good, and we are still on the same page. If I refresh, the flash message is going to disappear and we are good to go. So now the next obvious thing is, once we send these messages, okay, we want to see these messages showing up in our mails. Now currently, let me open my mail account over here. So currently inside my mail account, nothing is showing up over here. This is the first message I showed for the example. Now what we need to do is we need to run some few imports to do this. But before we do that, let me put this in archives, okay? So that everything is empty over here. Okay, so in order for a better understanding of what you are doing, let me close this up over here. For a better understanding of what you are doing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the views.py over here and run an import over here. So I'm going to say from Django.core.mail. I want to import send mail. Okay, so this send mail function over here is what is going to help us send mails back and forth. So having done this, we need to also do another thing. And in my Django series, I think I touched on this in a way. So let's go into settings.py and we need to apply some settings over here. So first of all, we need to provide what we call the email backend. Okay, so the email backend is going to be a string. I'm going to show you later. And this string is going to be Django.core.mail.backend.smtp. SMTP is simple mail transfer protocol, and you're going to have email backend in this camel case showing up over here. So the B is capital B. Okay, so that's what we have over here. Then the next parameter we need is the email host. So we are going to have an email underscore host. So the email host is also going to be a string, and the email host is going to be smtp.gmail. So I'm using Gmail over here. If you are using any other accounts, you need to check out the documentation. Okay, I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Then I'm going to have the email underscore use TLS. Okay, so TLS is going to be true as far as this goes. Then the next parameter I need to type in is the email ports. So the email underscore port, the email port is going to be 587. Good. The next one is going to be the email host user. So let me type in email underscore host underscore user, and the email host user, this is going to be the email from which you want to send the mail. So this is going to be like your company email. Okay, so I'm going to say kbt newsletter 1@gmail.com. So there's a mail I've registered. Okay, KBT newsletter. So depending on what you are doing, you can use your own email address and things of that sort. All right, then the next one is going to be the email underscore host underscore password. So for the email underscore host dot password, this is also going to be the password you have for this email address. Okay, so for security reasons, I would want to hide this password, and I'm just going to type it over here. All right, so I have everything set up over here. So what we have over here is an email backend, and this is going to be django.core.mail.backend.smtp.email backend. And we are using Gmail. Okay, so I think if you are using Yahoo Mail or any other mail services, you need to check out on the documentation. But I feel Gmail, almost everyone uses Gmail one way or the other. So I think this is a perfect example for a larger sample size of my subscribers. Then the email use TLS, which is actually true. Then you also have the email ports, which is 587. These parameters may change depending on the kind of mail service you are using. Then you have the email host user, which is going to be the email address you want to send the message from. And the password obviously is going to be the password you use in logging for that email. Okay, so this is set, and I'll save this. And now you can have access to this send mail function over here and try and send mail with this. Okay, so when you hover around this, you can see that when you call this method over here, you can have the subject, the message. Okay, so the subject is going to be like the title of the message, and the message itself, which is going to be the body of the message. Then from the person who is sending it from, the recipient list, the field silently, and other parameters you can see over here. So in order to get a better perspective of everything we are doing over here, now let's I'm going to do a quick Google search, and I'm just going to say Django send email. Okay, and this is in the Django documentation. I'll leave the link in the description below. And this is basically what we would want to do. So as you can see, from django.core.mail, we want to import send mail. And when we call the send mail method, we have access to what we would want to send over here. So clearly you can see that there are some parameters in here. So you can see that this is the subject of the message. The next is going to be the message itself, and from you, the user, or you, the admin, going to the subscribers. Okay, that kind of thing. So let's just copy this, Control C, and bring it up over here. Okay, so let's just paste this over here, and let me save this. And so the title of the message is, let's say, testing message. Okay, and let's say the body is going to be, this is testing message for test. All right, so the from. Okay, now let me type in the email address I'm going to send this message from, and this is going to be KBT newsletter 1 at gmail.com. Okay, and the 2. Okay, so the 2, who I'm sending this message to. Okay, I'm actually sending this message to kbroni123 at gmail.com, and I have field silently is equal to false. Now you need this in order not to run into problems if the email address even was false, okay, or was not correct. So now, having this in mind, now if I go here, or if I come here, okay, and refresh, okay, refresh this page, because we are in this function, it's going to call this method and send a mail. So if I come here and come and refresh, it is going to take a while, and the mail has been sent. Okay, in order to check this up, you can see that what ABT newsletter has sent the testing message. Okay, and like you can see over here, here is a testing message for test. That's exactly the message we wanted to send over here. Okay, if I refresh, and let me go and change some things over here. So the testing message, let's say testing message 2, okay, as a title, and let's say I'll say here is KenBroTech. When I save this and I come back here to come and refresh, remember this is under this, so once the function is being called, it is going to send this message over here. So you can see that the message has been sent, and if I'm to come back here, I have this new message over here. So testing message 2 for the title, and here is KenBroTech. So clearly we are making some progress. Now what we would want to do is to grab this, as you see over here, okay, and we just don't want to be sending messages when we refresh the page, but we want to send message if some logic has been triggered. Okay, so now what we want to do is immediately after checking if the form is valid. Okay, everything we've typed in there is valid. After saving this, then we want to send this message. So we are bringing that portion of the logic after saving the message in our database, perhaps maybe for auditing or for reference points. We'd also want to send this mail, or we want to call this function to send the mail. And now what we need over here is we don't just need the mail or this dummy text over here. We actually want to grab the message from the input field and the title from the input field. So in order to do that, I'm going to pass in a variable over here, which is going to be title. So I'm going to say form dot clean data, and I want to get a specific data over here. So what I need over here is I need the title. Okay, the title, and this title is actually what we have over here in our model. This title. Okay, so I want to grab this particular title, and I also want to grab the message itself. Then I also come in here and I'll create in a variable which I'm going to call message. Okay, and this is going to be also form dot clean data dot get, and I also want to get the message over there. So instead of typing in this dummy text over here, all I need over here is this title variable over here, because that's what I'm going to grab. Then I'll put in a comma over here. Then I would also want to grab the message over here. Then I also put in a comma. All right, now what we have over here is static. We are going to see how we dynamically render things over here. So over here we are beginning to make progress. So now when I come back and come and refresh, we see that no message will be sent, okay, into our mailbox because we haven't typed in anything. But now let's type in some few things over here. So I'll say KenBroTech mail for the title. So KenBroTech mail, and I'll say welcome to KenBroTech. I think some typo. So welcome to KenBroTech. Okay, this tutorial is good. All right, so this is a message. Now when I click on send message, we can see that we have message has been sent to mail list. Okay, so we can be rest assured that okay, something has been sent. Now if we come back into our database backend over here, when I refresh, we are going to see what KenBroTech mail over here. Okay, this is what we just sent. All right. Then if you should come back over, you can see that we have the KBT newsletter sending a new message to KenBroTech, and as you can see over here, welcome to KenBroTech. This tutorial is good. So this is exactly what we want. Good. Now in order to complete whatever thing we are doing over here, you can see that so far there are some things that we are passing out static over here, and that has to do with the email we are sending the message from. Okay, now because of what we did in our settings.py, where we specified a host user mail, okay, we can simply leave this blank over here. So if we are to leave this blank as an empty string, it is automatically going to pick that email we typed in settings.py and put it over here. So once again, let's see how this one will work out. So let me refresh this, and let's say new list. Okay, and for the new list, I'll say food, I'll say clothes, and I'll say shelter. All right, so when I send this, see that message has been sent to mail list. Now when I come back here and come here, you can see that this is the new list, and we can see food, clothes, shelter over here. So it is very important to note the moment we type in, and let me show it to you in settings.py. This is what I mean. The moment we type in the email host user, or whatever email we type in over here, if we are to leave here blank, okay, as far as the from email is concerned, it's going to automatically pick this up over here and do the magic it's supposed to do. Now the next important thing is we don't want to pass in things over here. We want to pass the subscribers we have in our database. So it is automatically going to pick it from the database and send the message to, and that's what we would want to achieve over here. Okay, so let me show you this. Now, as far as this one goes, as far as this goes, you can actually pass in, let's say, a comma, okay, and we can add in another mail over here. Now, let me show you this before I proceed. So let me open up my school email address, as you can see over here, and this is what I did in the morning. So let me put this in the archives. So currently I don't have anything showing up over here as far as mails are concerned. Okay, now let me put this email address over here as part of the list I have over here. So this is going to be kbrony at st.ug.edu.gh. okay, now when I save this and I come in here to send in a new mail, okay, so this is going to be travel and see the world for my title, and this is a travel discount. Okay, so this is a travel discount. Now when I click on send message, if I should come back here, you can see that travel and see the world is showing up over here. This is a travel discount, and when I come back over here, I can also see travel and see the world. This is a travel discount. Okay, so this is basically that, but we don't want to be typing. I mean, we can't come back into our code and be typing mails over here. What we actually want to do is we want to have the subscribers mail over here being picked up, and the messages will be flooded to the subscribers we have in here. Now, in order to do that and to kind of make things very simple over here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to import something over here, and I already covered a similar thing, okay, but not necessarily the same thing, a similar thing in my Django tutorials, okay. And what we need here is, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say from Django underscore pandas, okay, I want to, from Django._pandas.io, I want to import, and then I want to import read frame. Okay, so I want to import read frame. Now this Django pandas is a package I already have installed. So let me just show you over here. So I can do a pip. Let me see this being done properly over here. So I can do a pip list. Okay, so when I do a pip list, these are the list of packages I have installed on my system. So I have Django pandas installed, and I just want to show you so that you see exactly what I'm doing. So I have, so that's what you see over here. So I have Django pandas. So all that you need to do is to do, let's say, a pip install Django-pandas, and that's going to let you have access to the Django pandas. We now want this, or we want to have some kind of a data frame where we can properly manipulate our data. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to come back here, and we'll come to the very top over here because we need some kind of parameters over here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass in, or I'm going to write in some logic. Okay, some let's say we have emails, and emails is going to be a query set. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to grab everything from the this. Okay, I don't have this imported over here, so I need subscribers imported over here. So I'm going to say from the current models, I want to import subscribers. All right, so I'm going to say emails will be equal to subscribers dot objects dot all. I want to import, or I want to bring in all the subscribers over here. Now, having done this, the next thing I need to do is to kind of put this in a data frame. Okay, so for the data frame, I'm going to call a new variable which I'm going to name df for data frame. And what I need over here is I'm going to say df is equal to, remember I called in the read frame method over here, so I'm having access to the read frame. So read frame, and I'm going to pass in the emails variable I just created over here, the query set, okay? And we are going to see the use of this. And the next parameter I need to pass in is going to be the field names, okay? So the field names that I want is just the email, because as far as this subscribers is concerned, I have emails showing up over here. So I have the subscribers. I just want the emails. I don't want the dates, okay? I just want the emails. Good. So having done this, we are not quite done yet. I think we just have one line of code and we are good to go. So what I now need is, I'm also going to create a new variable over here. I'm going to call this mail list. Okay, so mail list is going to be equal to the data frame I just created over here. And I'm going to have access to the email, okay, the email variable as we see over here. Then what I need is, I need the values, okay? I need the values, and I want to change this to a list. This is very important. So once I change this to a list, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print. Let me first of all print the mail list that I just have over here. So this is going to be printed in the terminal once I refresh this, okay? This is just for demonstration purposes. So let's come back here, and if I am to come and refresh this, okay, it has been refreshed. And if you should come back here, we can see that we have this being printed over here. So this is what KenBroTech123@gmail.com, and that's essentially, as far as our subscribers are concerned, this is the only email address we have over here. Now if I'm to come back into the main page and type in another email address, let's say let me use a different one. Let's say bronikenneth@yahoo.com, okay, and I subscribe. If I'm to come back here and come and refresh, we are seeing bronikenneth@yahoo.com. And if I come here and refresh, we are going to see that as far as the printing of the emails are concerned, we can see that we have brony@gmail.com and bronikenneth@yahoo.com. Now this is very important. Remember, we need this to be presented in this manner because we have this in a list, and that's essentially what we want over here. So we need something like this, and that's why we are using the data frame, okay, the Django data frame, to kind of manipulate our data and present it in this particular manner. So this is almost similar to what we have over here. Good. Now this is very important to note that the mail I provided over here, this bronikenneth@yahoo.com, I don't have this email address, and that's why we need the field silently to be false, because if the email address provided is wrong and you are trying to send an email to it, it's going to crash. But then you cannot be held liable for somebody providing a wrong email, okay? So that's why you need this over here in order to make things work properly. So having said this, now we don't need this static thing over here. All that we need is a mail list, okay? All that we need is a mail list, and you put out a trailing comma over here. So let me once again shrink things so that we see things very clearly over here. So we just need a mail list, okay? So the mail list, as you see over here, is the data frame. We are picking up the emails, the values, and we are converting it to a list. This is very important. So this is basically everything we need to do. All right, so once I come back here to come and refresh, and let's say send in a new message, and I'm saying this is the complete message. When I click on send, it says that what message has been sent to mail list. Okay, now when I come here and refresh, these are subscribers, okay, we have 2 over here. Now when I go to the mail messages, we have this new message popping up over here. Now when I come to, this is my KenBroTech123@gmail.com, this is what we see. So this is a new post for beginners, and this is a complete message. Now when I come here to my school email address, which is kbrony@st.ug.edu.gh, now when I come here, we don't see this message showing up over here, because as you can see, and let me show you, as you can see, that email is not part of our subscribers yet, and that's why we are not seeing this over here. So in order to make this part of our subscribers, we just need to come in here, and like the user would do, we'll type in, let's say, kbroni at st.edu.gh. Now when I click on subscribe, this has now been added to our mail list. So when I refresh, we have this showing up over here. And if I'm to type in or send in a message to all my subscribers, and I'll say new discounts. Okay, so this course has been discounted for my subscribers. All right, so when I send this message, it is going to pick up all the messages or all the emails I have in my subscribers model, and it's going to flood this message to them. So if I come back here, you can see that new discounts is showing up over here, and this is kbroni123@gmail.com, and also it is showing up over here in kbroni at st.ug.edu.gh. And as you can see, this course has been discounted for my subscribers. All right, so I think this is good. And let me also kind of do something over here. So now see, if I come back here and type in let's say some gibberish address over here, okay, and this address does not even exist, .com. Okay, when I click on subscribe, this is going to be saved in our database. I mean, regardless, okay, this gibberish email address is going to be sent. Now if I'm to come back here to type in let's say wedding, okay, this is the wedding, and click on send, it is still going to send the mail. Okay, it is still going to send, assuming this was correct or a correct email address, it was going to send to this. But when we come over here, you can see that the wedding is showing up over here. When we come back to this address too, the wedding is showing up over here. Now this is important, and that's why we have the fail silently is equal to false, so that in the event where a wrong email address has been provided, you are not going to suffer the consequences, else the system is going to crash. So this is very important to keep notes. Now if you find this tutorial very interesting, there are a couple of ways you can help me grow my channel. Kindly subscribe to KenBroTech, and don't forget to hit on the notification button so that anytime I release a video, you'll be duly notified. Also, share this video with friends and family who find this content very useful. At KenBroTech, we say learn program, you can do it. Also, don't forget to pass in any comments or ask any question you wish to ask, and any suggestion as far as making videos are concerned. I'm preparing some interesting videos. I have a music application video which I called Melody coming up very soon. We are going to see how we create some kind of a Spotify clone one way or the other, and we can add in music, we can play the music and do some. I'm also working on a book application where we can add in books, an online library kind of a sort. So some cool stuff are coming out very soon. Thank you very much, and bye bye.